Well, hey there. Have you been at a gig and all of a sudden you kind of lose your signal, or you get a cracking sound through a cable and you can't figure out where's that connector? Well, today we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of maintenance on your equipment. And I mean literally the nuts and the bolts. Stay tuned. All right, welcome. Let's talk about the important things when playing live regarding your equipment. Things you want to check out are connections. If you're like Angus Young, the only effect you're using is the cable from the guitar to the amp. If that's the case, you have 2 points of contention. You want to make sure to check out that cable end and make sure that it's secured, it's screwed on, the barrel end is screwed on correctly. You also want to get a continuity tester and learn how to use one of those things. That's a really good way to troubleshoot cable problems. If you're someone that uses pedals and has a pedal board, one thing you're going to want to do, and I do it before every show, is I reach down there in that pedal board and I just kind of go over every connection and just make sure it's seated in there so I don't get any surprises. I like to go through every connection on my pedal board every couple months. I'll reach down there and just kind of double check everything, because you never know. One of the washers and nuts can come loose on one of your pedals and you don't see that, but that could be the source of an intermittent signal disruption. So make sure to check all those connectors out and those nuts and bolts and tighten those up periodically. One thing you're really going to want to check all the time is this connection right here. And if this is your strap pin there, but underneath there is a washer and a nut. And periodically that can kind of come loose and you'll get a little bit of wiggle in this guy here. So if you take that off, tighten that nut back up, put that back on, that's a good thing. One more area of contention you really want to keep an eye on here is your strap button on the back right here for you, on the heel. You might have it up here. These guys can work their ways loose, and there's a small little felt washer in there that you can replace if need be. But, check that one periodically and make sure that one's nice and snug. Nothing worse than having that thing come off and your guitar hits the ground, you break your headstock off, so be careful. So these might seem like obvious tips to you here, but these are things that we all tend to miss, and me included. So every couple months, go through that rig, check all your connections, look at all those nuts and bolts, check your cables with a continuity tester, check that strap pin jack, check that end pin jack, make sure you don't drop your instrument on stage. And you kind of have to have this MacGyver-like attitude and be ready for these types of things that can happen at any gig at any time. Thank you for tuning in, and please stop on back for more important tips for the performing musician. Thank you.